Hey there, Kelsey here as always. So great to see you again. Today we are actually making a video based upon one of your requests. We had a viewer write in named Anne with a wonderful suggestion for a video, and Anne requested if we could do a video comparing the differences in the compression between store brands like a Lakeshore Energy or a Hanes Alive and those that we carry. And that's a great question, Anne, and that's why we want to answer it for you. To do this, we're going to do kind of some cheesy little demos using actual pieces of hosiery that we've bought at the drugstore and also that we pulled off our shelves to give you a little visualization of some of these differences. So as a first point of reference, we're actually just going to use a normal stocking. This is not an Energy or Alive. This is purely a normal stocking. To start, I'm going to pull it this way. You can see super duper stretchy. And also even this way, you're going to have a lot of give. See that? So that's just an initial introduction. Also note, when I pull like this, I think it's interesting to see how it kind of holds the shape that you were pulling. It's kind of gross, right? It looks like little alien fingers are coming through there. Can you see that? Whoops! Now, this is going to be one of the most important and I think telling parts of this demo is the amount of tension that's affected on a limb when it is within the garment. So for reference, I'm putting both my hands in here. We're using this as a representation of if this was a leg, how much pressure would be being applied to it. So I have both my hands in this normal stocking. Again, I just bought this down at the drugstore down the street, and I'm going to pull my hands apart. As you can see, I have a lot of play in there. There's a very little, if any, tension, and that's because this is intended just for aesthetic use. This stocking is not intended to apply compression, nor does it say it does. So it's doing exactly what it should be. You can see I have a lot of give, a lot of malleability. You can see my hand as I move it. And that's, again, a normal stocking as reference for you. Keep in mind that point of interest is that we got about 8+ inches of stretch when we had two hands in here. So now we're going to step it up. And per Anne's idea, we went and bought a Energy or light support item from the drugstore. And here, we'll again pull this. You can see quite a bit of give. I apologize, and some give this way as well. Now, what you do notice about this is it holds its own shape a little better than that normal stocking did. You still see a little bit of where I had pulled, but it doesn't have that super alien look that the normal stocking did. Now we'll go on to our favorite part of this demo, which is putting two hands in. And again, think of this as if your leg's in here and you're trying to figure out how much compression tension is being applied to it. So now I'm putting my two hands in here and I'm going to pull them apart. Okay? As you can see, I'm trying to get this right angle for you to see. I'm still getting some give. I'm not able to separate my arms the full 8 to 12 inches I was with that last one, but it's going to be less, as you'll see, than if I had a support garment on right now, a medical compression garment. So again, this is an Energy or Alive version. It does have some light compression in there, but it's not going to be anything too crazy. It's just going to give you a little added support. You can see very light and gossamer. You can see my hand through here. So with those in mind, now we are going to show you what a compression garment is like in comparison to this. And one thing that I think is interesting too is when a normal stocking's at rest, you know, it kind of like balls up and gets small. Like look at the leg on this guy, for example. It's kind of, you know, when you pull them out of the box and they're these skinny little things. A compression stocking isn't going to be like that. It's going to hold, naturally, a more normal leg shape. So this is a compression stocking pulled off our shelves at rest. This is actually the sheer dot. And you can see it's naturally just a little wider to begin with. That's because the yarns are going to have more tension in them than when it's on. So for reference, we're going to pull it this way. And I wish you could feel this with me because this has more of a rubber band feel when I pull it than the last two. And then this, if I pull sideways, if I start here, you can see it also has some stretch, but it has more of a rubber band feel to it. Now this is where you're really going to see the difference. So again, imagine my two arms represent a leg, and this is the tension being applied to it. Okay, and I'm going to try to, bear with me, this is going to look a little weird, but it's really tricky to get my hands in here. I really have to use my muscles. Okay, so, ta-da! My hands are now in this bad boy, and I apologize I didn't have a nude version of this to show you, but my pads of my hands are actually touching. I can't even separate them. This ankle is so strong. It has the advertised level of compression. This happens to be a 15 to 20 garment, and this thing is tight. I mean, if I try to move my hands at all, here, I'll show you. I mean, this is down in the big thigh area, and you can see how much give I have going up towards the ankle, which is where I was in the ankle and the foot of those other two. I can hardly move my hand through here. So you can imagine if a leg's in there, it's going to be getting a lot more tension applied to it. I hope that kind of helps you visualize some of this, and I'll actually explain some of the mechanics behind this too. A normal stocking is going to be knit on a circular knitting machine. So is a medical compression stocking, but it's going to be knit on a specialized circular knitting machine that is designed and engineered to weave in this extra compression. Beyond that, a normal stocking is just going to be made from normal individual yarns. Most, if not all, compression stockings are actually made from custom-made yarns that are yarns knit around yarns, and depending on the compression level, it's going to have different strengths and varieties of that custom yarn, again, to give you and contribute to that additional compression. A normal stocking, such as a Hanes Energy or Alive, or I'm sorry if I mix up those brands, is not going to have an FDA listing. It's not going to be able to make the claims. It can energize and give you a sensation of support, but it's not going to have, again, the FDA listing and the claims that will come with a medical support garment. A medical support garment or a support stocking such as those seen in our store is in a completely different arena than a normal stocking you can buy at the drugstore. So, like I had said, a medical support type will be FDA listed. It will contain within the advertised compression, and most compression stockings are measured by a metric called, you'll see on a website, MMHG, and MMHG actually stands for millimeters of mercury. It's just a way to express how much is within there. There's different levels, and they are made in ranges. So like a 15 to 20 is going to be lighter than a 20 to 30, etc., etc. And these normal stockings have none of that in here. They have no millimeters mercury pressure. They are purely for aesthetic reasons. So I hope that kind of helped answer your question, Anne. If any of you also have other ideas and ways to explain this to Anne, I do invite you to help us share those with her. Please comment on this video and or on our Facebook fan page. We'd be happy to pass those along. Likewise, if you have any ideas for other videos or you have questions about products you'd love to have answered, we would love to hear those as well. And you can always send those in to support@rejuvahealth.com or message us on our Facebook fan page at facebook.com/rejuvahealth. I hope that's of help, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks, guys.